Hello and welcome back to the Ironman Progress series, where I'm going to be focusing on the second half of the Ascension Legions. So we've got Quartus, Quintus and Sextus to be taking on to try and get ourselves some of those signets, which unfortunately last episode we're a little bit unlucky with, but I'm feeling alright, I'm feeling like we're going to get something today. So this isn't like a live recording, this is just me talking over, and as you can see here we have 60 Quartus, 52 Quintus and 70 Sextus keys to be using up, which is a lot of potential to get some good stuff. So I'm hoping that potential lives up to it, because there we've got, about 180 kills, which is, it should set us in the range of about 3 of the keys, so yeah, it's looking hopeful, but again, we know that RNG is one of those funny things. I got the Araxi pet at 100 kills, and I'm a little bit behind on what I should be expecting from the Legions, so it's a little bit of a difficult one, but I've enjoyed these Legions so far. They've been quite challenging for me, being quite an early PVMer, with like spamming all of the keys and stuff, making sure my keys are done properly, since it is kind of like a full manual thing I'm having to do. So yeah, it's been quite a nice learning curve, but as you can see here, we actually got ourselves one of the signets from Quartus pretty early on, which it just made me feel so much better about the dry streak from last episode. I say a dry streak, it wasn't a massive dry streak, but I was a little bit disappointed last episode, so to get that there was quite enjoyable, but unfortunately, aside from that, that's all we managed to get from Quartus. Now, Quintus was an interesting one. It's argued to be one of the hardest. I don't think it's necessarily the hardest. I think it's just, it does more damage to you than any of the others. But I don't think that necessarily means it's like the hardest. Once you get a strategy down, which obviously you can see at the beginning here, I had no clue, I was panicking and stuff. Once you get a strategy down, it's really quite simple to sort out. So essentially, like every, I think it's every 7.5k health that Quintus takes in damage, he will spawn these light beams on the floor, and if you stood in them, like pretty much every game tick or something, or every 2 game ticks, you'll receive like some high, like 2k plus magic damage. So the best idea to do is just to train him around and get those lines, so when he's about to go beyond that threshold of the the health that you're going to get a beam spawn, you want to sort of bring it to one of the back corners away from where you're going to be battling him, just so it's not like massively in the way. But I ended up just staying within the quadrant that was available, so if I got a line down there like there, I'll just stay on this side of him now. I won't bother going anywhere near that. My train will then just go through him rather than around him, just so I don't get caught like that in there and take loads of damage. I mean, I've got a Pack with me in case I did take damage, and later on throughout this boss I got a lot better at this. I could do this without taking barely any damage, but it was one of those big learning curve things at the beginning, but it was quite an enjoyable learning curve. So yeah, as you can see here, I'll just stay within this quadrant here, I won't exceed it, and there's enough room here to avoid all of the lightning that he pops down, because the lightning is not that difficult to avoid really now. So yeah, Quintus was quite enjoyable. We went for every single key to be used, and we got ourselves some Serenic Scales, we got ourselves some keys for the other legions, but unfortunately in all those kills we didn't get a single signet, which is quite disappointing, but I'm trying not to dwell too much on bad RNG this episode. It was a little bit of a kicker, I won't lie. I wanted at least one of each so that I felt like a bit of progress had been made, but of course I'm missing the Tertius and the Primus anyway. But as you can see here, as it stands, when we go on to here, we've got 276 kills, and we've got 3 signets, which is not too clever. On to the final legion, Sextus. This one was surprisingly quite easy. So Sextus's thing is that he keeps the lightning on the ground for longer than the others, so essentially at any one point there can be up to 3 lightning patches, which makes it perhaps a little bit difficult. But what I found with Sextus was, if I kept the area which I spam clicked around him a little bit wider, so rather than doing a cycle right next to him to deal more damage, I've taken it a little bit further away, just so I don't get caught, because as you'll probably see, like if you end up getting too close in, like there, all the lightning was in one little cluster, and if you end up having to run through that, you're going to take loads of damage. So I took it out a little bit, and I found that was quite easy, and there was no real problem from there on. with Sextus, it was quite enjoyable. Like, at this point I'd gotten used to doing my full manual, and I'd gotten used to the clicking around and it being super click intensive. I'd also gotten used to the fact that we were getting so many Serenic scales. We've actually now got enough Serenic scales to make full Serenic, which is really cool. Of course, I'm not going to do that. I would like to save up my scales and wait until I can make the Elite Serenic if I'm going to make Serenic, but you know, that's for another day really. Now, what you might see is quite a bit of lag going on in this video. Now, my internet for some reason was cutting out, but I was very stubborn. I was like, no, I've not played RuneScape much really this week. I've really wanted to play, but a lot of the playing I've been able to do has just been AFK stuff in the background because I've just been so busy. So I was like super stubborn. I was like, no, we're not going to stop playing. We're going to keep playing. And so you might see a few lag spikes in here. You'll see one in a minute, which was really stressful. But yeah, what I plan on doing now is just going straight back to the Ascension creatures and farming out another 50 of each key. I feel like that should set us in the right pathway to be getting the keys that we want. My issue was, originally my plan was to go for 100 of each key. However, I thought that if I do get fortunate, which obviously was a stupid thing to think now, but I thought originally if I was to get super fortunate, it would, you know, say if I only needed to use 60 of each key to get all of the pieces, I'd be quite annoyed at myself for building up such a, like, deposit of them. So yeah, I'm going to be doing them in 50s just to stick by that until we get the Ascension crossbow basically. I think next episode I might focus on something a little bit different to just the Ascension creatures, because I don't want this to become the Ascension creature series. Like, I want it to focus on the other things I do, and there is some things I do. Like, I've been doing some agility, I've been doing some construction, I've been doing some quests as well. So I'm going to be focusing a little bit on that later on. But here, look at this lag. I got myself the signet. And so before I started recording, the game lagged for probably 30 or 40 seconds, and I was so stressed because it lagged as Sextus died, so I didn't see the beam, and instinctively I thought, that's a drop, that's a signet right there. And I was just waiting, and then I saw it and I was like, brilliant, so I clicked on it and nothing happened. I was like, oh, this is it, isn't it? This is like, it was giving me proper vibes to back when I was doing Revenants, and I got a Statius plate body, and as I went to pick it up, 7 white dots appeared, and I had to just insta-telly, I couldn't go and pick it up. This was back when I was doing my Wilderness Slayer for the Decimation Bow, and I was on like the 9th tier, and there was no way I was losing all that progress, so I just had to telly away. But yeah, thankfully, I was able to pick it up and carry on as I planned. Unfortunately, that was the only signet that we got in 72 kills, which was expected. I was a little bit gutted about. I was hoping to at least get all the Sextus ones, but getting one of them was quite fortunate anyway. So, you know, to get 2 of the the signets in, you know, one little bout was quite, you know, I was quite happy for it, certainly based on last episode and stuff. But the plan now is just get so many more keys. I want to get more Primus ones. I don't care for Secundus. We won't be doing Secundus again until I'm going for boss pets and stuff. But yeah, it was a little bit of yeah, to be honest, I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, that's everything. As you can see here, I'm going to show all the keys other than the Secundus ones have been used up now, which is a little bit depressing, but we can carry on. Got ourselves 80 Serenic scales, a load of other resources as well. The herbs from doing all of these bosses have really built up. I've got herbs up in the thousands now, which is really cool. Saves me doing a lot of farming for like getting some overloads built up and whatnot. But yeah, 80 Serenic scales, and all my keys have pretty much been used up, but we have got 4 signets now, 2 Secundus, 1 Quartus, and 1 Sextus, and that has all been done within 351 kills. So with them being a 1 in 50 drop rate, perhaps I could have expected a few more, but I'm expecting RNG will turn itself around and I'll get quite fortunate later on, touch wood. But yeah, that's kind of all I've got for this video. I appreciate it's a bit of a short one with not much content, and progress perhaps. I have been doing a lot of progress in the background, which I'm going to be showing a bit more next episode. I am still working towards maxing, it's just this week's been a bit of a cluster. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.